Hi, I'm Rachel Allen, and today I'm going to be making a really good potato soup, silky and smooth, absolutely delicious. And I'm going to be serving it with a parsley pesto. These are both really versatile ingredients. The parsley pesto is of course a little variation on the classic basil pesto, but it's so handy to have in your fridge for everything, from drizzling over soups, steaks, chicken breast, to putting in with pasta or even an omelette. And the potato soup is a brilliant one. It freezes, it's made really simply, but it can take herbs, spices, it really can be mixed up as well. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the pesto. And this is made in literally seconds. I'm going to make all of these in the Thermomix. So for the pesto, I have got parsley. I need for this 25 grams. You've got the wing scales in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 25 grams of Parmesan. And the Parmesan you can just cut into little chunks like this. But it's also really handy in the Thermomix that you can actually grate the rind of Parmesan. But for the pesto, I'm not going to use the rind, the inner part. So 25 grams of Parmesan, 1 clove of garlic peeled, 25 grams of pine nuts. Now you can use other nuts if you like. You can use cashews, walnuts, hazelnuts, or if you wish, you can leave the nuts out. I always keep my pine nuts, by the way, in the freezer. I find that they stay fresh for much longer in the freezer. 25 grams of those, fantastic. A nice pinch of salt, there, and 75 grams of extra virgin olive oil. I find for the best flavour, extra virgin olive oil. So put that in, there, keep a little bit of it aside, pop the lid on, and then put it on for speed 6 for, say, 15 seconds, scrape down the sides, and let's put in for 15 seconds, there, speed 6. Yep, lost that olive oil, put the lid on again, there, again. I'm just going to give it a little taste. That looks really good. Divine. Okay, so now that is the pesto. I'm just going to put it straight into a bowl because this is for drizzling over the soup. However, if you want to keep this for months and months, and it will keep well for months, put it into a jar, a sterilized jam jar, and cover it with a layer of extra virgin olive oil. And that will prevent the air from getting in, and which will cause it to go off. And store it properly like that in smaller jars rather than, one huge jar if you're making a big batch. But it'll keep well for up to a year. So good. And now to make the potato soup. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the potatoes into the bowl of the Thermomix and actually just blend them just for 3 seconds on speed 5. So 475 grams of potatoes that you then peel, chop up into rough pieces, and okay, they are chopped. So tip those into the bowl here. I like to chop these first, and then these go into the onions after the onions have had their initial sweating. Otherwise, I find that if the potatoes go in from the very beginning, they can get a little bit starchy and the soup won't be as silky and smooth and gorgeous. And then I need to put in 25 grams of butter. I like to use salted butter, but you can use unsalted butter. So put your scales on 25 grams. And also 150 grams of onions that I peeled and cut into quarters. And a nice good pinch of salt. There. Right, so again, back to speed 5 and blend the onions with the butter just for 3 seconds. So I'm going to cook the onions now for 5 minutes at 100 degrees, just on speed 1, the spoon stir. Okay, lovely. So the onions have sweated with the butter, and now I'm going to add in the chopped potatoes, there, and the stock. I like to make my own chicken stock, and you can make chicken stock or a stock paste in the Thermomix. So you can use a homemade stock, or you can use a stock cube if you like. And if you're using a stock cube, use 500 grams of water with the stock cube. I've got 500 grams of chicken stock in here. There. Put the lid back on, and then on again now for 10 minutes. That's at 100 degrees again, just to cook the potatoes really nice and slowly, and they'll be so silky like this. And one. Okay, and now lastly, add in the milk. There. Lovely. 100 grams of milk going in. Put the lid back on again. And now blend it at speed 10 for 1 minute. Oh, that looks gorgeously silky. Lovely. So give it a little taste. It doesn't need too much pepper. Pepper. A little pinch of salt. You can season to taste. You should. It just needs that little bit. Delicious. Pour some soup out now, or just reheat it later. Look, that does look good. Really comforting. And then a lovely little drizzle of parsley pesto. If your pesto is a little bit thick, it'll depend on the parsley. You can always add another little bit of extra virgin olive oil to thin it out. And because the parsley pesto has got good punchy flavour, you don't need a huge amount. That's kind of good. And there we go. That is my potato soup and parsley pesto.